Most UPSC aspirants think marks are decided by knowledge. That sounds logical. Study more, remember more, write more. But after years of observing answer copies, something strange appears. When two students study the same topic, same notes, same coaching, and same previous year questions, yet one get 90 marks and another gets 120 marks. Why? What is the reason behind that? Because mains is not only testing knowledge, it is testing execution. And execution starts before writing. Execution starts when you read the question. Execution starts when you read the question in mains examination. Today's class is about one of the most ignored but highest written topics in UPSC mains. Those are directive words. What is directive words? What is the topic belongs to? Let me go into the very detail. Directive words are like explain, discuss, analyze, examine, evaluate, critically examine. These are not decoration words. These are instructions. And if you misunderstand the instruction, you can write a good answer and still lose marks. These decorative words are appear in the questions in mains examination. Today I want to change that. That is misunderstood, misunderstand the instruction. That is what I want to change. By the end of this class, you should never read a UPSC question, mains question, the same way again. But every UPSC question, mains question has two parts. That is part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is belongs to topic. That is whether it polity, economy, history or society. And comes to the part that is part 2, that is a directive. What is the directive here? What should you do with that topic is directive. That is the hidden command. Let me show you one thing. That is, let me take one question. Let's say example, that is discuss federalism. Discuss federalism. This is the actual question. Discuss federalism is the actual question. But student will think like this. Examiner asked discuss federalism. Student will mistake defines federalism. They think discuss is defines federalism. That is wrong. Here UPSC asked discuss, not explain. Let me take another example. The question is like this. Evaluate Lardekirchen policies or Lardekirchen. But here student think like this and student writes biography. That is wrong. Here the question decorative word is not here. The directive word here, that is evaluate. Evaluate Lardekirchen. UPSC asked here is evaluate. So we have to write answer for evaluate rather than biography. So another question, analyze inflation. Analyze. Analyze inflation. Here directive word is analyze. Then again student misunderstand this thing and the student lists causes. Wrong. That is wrong. We have to exactly knows what UPSC is asking here. That is analyze. Same topic, different directive, different answer, different marks. That is today's class. We have to know the importance of directive words in this class. Before we move into these directives, I want to show you something. Same student, same knowledge, different directive, different marks. Like again, we will take discuss federalism question. One student A defines federalism. He understands defines federalism and wrote examination. Written in the examination, the answer is according to defines federalism. His score is average. But another student, student B, what he written is he explains federalism and next add dimensions. Next one he discuss or issues issues and balance. What he done is explain federalism. When you ask discuss federalism, he explains federalism in the first instances, then dimensions, and after issues and balance conclusion. So you might observe what he will score. He score higher. Question did not change here. Directive changed in the written answer compared to the student A and student B. That is the hidden language of UPSC. And one more thing, I want to tell you very much clearly. From 2013 to 2025 across all GS papers and essay few optional influences, I have taken few directive words to explain each and everything. So those are not all are equally important. But let me read out, let me explain few. That is the UPSC Directive Dictionary based on 2013 to 2025 PYQs. That is previous year questions. But students think UPSC asks different questions. Actually, UPSC repeat instructions. Every directive is asking only one thing. What should I do with this answer? What should I do with this answer? Actually, these directives are belongs to the 7 families and more or less 15 directive words are there. What are the families? What are the question families? Those are belongs to first one is explanation directives. This is the question family 1. Question family 2 is exploration directives and question family 3 is comparison directives and judgment directives, proof directives, extraction directives, structure directives. These are the 7 question families classified. Those 50 words, those are directive words. So we are going to discuss, we are going to start with the first question family, that is explanation directives. What is the explanation directives family? Here is explanation directive means tell me clearly. When the explanation directive belongs to the in the appear in the any question, we will understand simply tell me clearly about the particular topic. Overall, here the purpose is make the examiner understand. That is the main purpose regarding to the explanation directives. And what are the directive words belongs to this explanation directives family is explain, describe, illustrate, clarify, elucidate, elaborate, bring out, throw light on, outline, present, execution. Present, from explain to present. These are the words belongs to explanation directives family. When we observe these words in the examination of the question, what we have to do is overall execution. What is the execution here is write the meaning and key points, then example and closure, conclusion. This is the pattern, this is the flow of the answer belongs to the question family explanation directives. When we appear these belonging words, the overall thinking should be like this: meaning, then flow, then write key points, and then example, and then closure. That is the thing here belongs to this question family. Explain is equal to make it very clear. That is the average understanding. We have to we have to we must have to that understanding. This is belongs to question family one, that is explanation directives. Moves to the second family, that is exploration directives. Exploration directive means open dimensions. Here the purpose is look at the topic from multiple angles. When we belongs to the directive words, exploration directives, open dimensions, we have to look at the topic from different multiple angles. What are the directive words belongs to this exploration directives family? Discuss, comment, examine, analyze, trace, account for, interpret, explain with examples. These are the words belongs to exploration directive family. Let's moving to the explain execution. What should we have to do when we are writing the examination? Take dimension 1, then dimension 2, then dimension 3, and then make it conclusion. So this is the flow of the answer. This is the pattern flow of the answer should be. So here explore before concluding. We have to do is explore before concluding. This is exploration directives family. We are moving to the third family, that is comparison directives. Comparison directives means compare relationships. What is the purpose here is show similarity, difference, or connection. It name itself recognizing that comparison directives. What are the directive words belongs to this? Compare, contrast, differentiate, distinguish, correlate, relate. These type of words, directive words belongs to the comparison directive family. Comes to the execution of answer, have to take parameter. First of all, have to take parameter, then A versus B, then insight. So this is the flow pattern. This is the answer structure should be like this. Compare, when it comes to the compare, you think like relationship. compare relationships. Comparison, this is the comparison directives family. When comes to the judgment directives, comes to the judgment directives, family number 4. Take a position. What is the purpose here is measure and conclude. Measure and conclude. Here the words belongs to judgment directives. Judgment directives. Name itself showing that judgment. Evaluate, assess, critically examine, critically analyze, critique, review, discuss critically, to what extent, comment critically. These words are belong to judgment directives. Comes to the execution. First evidence, then strength, then limitation, then verdict. You have to write in the question, in the answer, first evidence, then strength, then limitation, then follow verdict. This is the pattern. This is the flow pattern of the answer structure. Memory. Here memory is like this. Judge. Judge means do not narrate. Comes to the next family, that is proof directives. Proof directives means defend. Defend. Purpose, what the purpose is, support the statement. Defend. It means itself support the statement. What are the directives here? Directives are justify, substantiate, demonstrate, validate, establish. Comes to the execution. Claim, then evidence, then reasoning, then conclusion. This is the flow of the answer structure when it comes to proof directives family. Proof directives family, directive words are like this: justify, substantiate, demonstrate, validate, establish. These are. Here we have to prove your answer. Justify, prove your answer. Name itself proof directives, it's showing that. Comes to the next family, that is extraction directives. Extraction means pick elements. What is the purpose here is select only what matters. Select only what matters. That is the purpose here. Directive words are like this: highlight, enumerate, identify, mention, state, list. Comes to the execution, select, then present, then stop. This is the pattern. This is the flow. Here do not overwrite. Extraction, pick elements, select, present, and stop. Comes to the structure directives. This is the seventh and last family, directives family. Structure directives means follow the lens. What is the purpose here is answer in the exact direction asked. Comes to the structure directives, follow the lens. That is the meaning. Purpose is answer in the exact direction asked. The purpose is answer in the exact direction asked. What are the directives belongs to this? What are the directives belongs to this family? Those words are like delineate, examine the statement, explain the significance, explain implications, examine consequences, discuss with examples. These are the words belongs to this family. Comes to the execution part. When we are writing the answer, first question lens. What is the question is asking? We have to follow that lens first. Then structure, then answer. This is the way. of execution. Follow the hidden instruction we have to understand as far as structure directives family. These are the families based on 2013 to 2025 PYQs belongs to GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4 and essay and few optional analysis. Based on that analysis, we classified directive words into 7 families and more or less 15 words we have discussed so far. But in this, only 15 directive words belongs to 90% of the questions. So we have to discuss those 15 words, high impact words in this class. So comes to the Metis rule here. When we dis- describe how to write answer, the Metis rule like this. Then first of all, question, then directive, then hidden demand of the question, then structure, then execution, then leads to marks. Directive decides execution, execution decides marks. So we are moving to the directives, which are most of 90% of questions comes to these 15 directives. So in this session, we are going to very detailed discussion regarding directives. 15 directives. Comes to the first directive word, that is explain. When we appear in the examination, any question, explain. When you see the explain word, think like this. What is the meaning of this word? What examiner want? Explain. Meaning here is make examiner understand. UPSC is asking here is what is this? How does it work? This is UPSC asked regarding explain what. How we structure this answer? First you have to write definition. When you comes with the encounter with explain question, the answer structure should be like this. First of all, you have to write definition, then mechanism follow, then example. This is the flow pattern, this is the answer pattern, this is the structure of that answer, particular answer you have to write in the examination when you have encountered explain word, directive word. But in general, student make mistakes like this, writing their opinions. But what UPSC is asking is different, student thinking is different. So when it clashes, so marks will decrease. So if UPSC says explain, do not become a philosopher. You have to become a teacher rather than philosopher. So in this way, you have to write an answer when you encounter explain directive word in the question in the mains examination. Then moving to the second directive word, that is discuss. Discuss. What is the meaning of discuss? Explore dimensions. General meaning is explore dimensions. What here UPSC is asking. When you encounter with discuss in the examination, you have to think like this. UPSC is asking like this. Can you see multiple sides of the particular given question or topic? UPSC is asking, here when regarding to the discuss, can you see multiple sides? You have to understood what discuss means. Can you see multiple sides? What is the structure of answer here is idea. First you have to write idea. Then comes to the dimensions. Then it follows balanced closure. That means conclusion. So this is the flow of the answer should be. This is the answer structure. But usually student mistakes doing like this. One-sided writing, not multiple sides. So discuss means explore, not declare. Discuss means explore, not declare. Let us make this real. Let me take one topic, that is urban flooding. Let's say example, take this urban flooding. This is the topic. Question like this: discuss causes of urban flooding. Discuss causes of urban flooding. This is the question. When we are going to the wrong approach first. Wrong approach is only climate change. Students are writing one side, that is only climate change. When causes of urban flooding in the examination, students are thinking about one side only, that is climate change. They are written, they are writing a number of words, etc., etc. But correct approach is what? First you have to write urbanization, then drainage system, then planning, then climate, then governance, then balanced conclusion. So when you comes to the urban flooding, discuss the urban flooding, you have to write urbanization, then drainage, then planning, then climate and governance. What are the causes here? This is the correct approach. So that is a discussion, not only one dimension. Multiple dimensions you have to present there. Comes to the third directive, that is elucidate. What is the meaning of elucidate? Elucidate meaning reveal hidden meaning. Reveal hidden meaning. What UPSC is asking here? Can you unpack the statement? When you comes to the elucidate, you have to think like this. What is UPSC asking here? Can you unpack the statement? That is we have to understand. Structure, answer structure here this like this. Here is like this. Interpret, then expand, then clarify. This is the flow of the answer structure. Comes to the student mistakes. Students write only definitions. Elucidates, elucidate. Elucidate mean what? Means what? Elucidate means to illuminate. Reveal hidden meaning. Can you unpack the statement? What should be the structure of the answer? Interpret, expand, and clarify. That is the actual answer you have to write when comes to the elucidate. Directive number 4, that is trace. Trace meaning show the journey. UPSC is asking what here? How did this evolve? Show the journey means how did this evolve? Structure should be like this: origin, stages, and present. This is the structure. What student make mistakes here? No chronology. Trace means movement. Student mistakes like this. No chronology. Trace means movements. So comes to the directive 5, highlight. Highlight meaning what? Bring attention. Comes to the UPSC, what they are asking is here, what deserves emphasis? Highlight what deserves emphasis. Structure, answer structure here, select and emphasis. That's it. That's it. That is the answer you have to write. Student mistake like this. Writing everything. Highlight means writing everything. Students are doing mistakes like this. Highlight means not write everything. Highlight means selective importance. You have to write. That is the answer you have to write when you appear with the when you come across with the highlight word in the examination when it comes to UPSC CSE mains question. Comes to the directive number 6, that is analyze. Analyze, this is very important. What is the meaning of analyze here? Break and connect. Analyze means break and connect. What UPSC is asking here? Why and how? What relationships exist? UPSC is asking here why, how, what relationships exist. Comes to the structure of answer, break, then connect, then infer. This is the answer structure when comes to the analyze. Students are mistaking like this. Listing, they are listing, but it is not a correct approach when it comes to the analyze answer. Analyze means thinking. Let us make analyze visible. Let's take the, for example, one question is analyze inflation. Analyze inflation. Wrong thinking like this, demand supply listing. This is the wrong thing. But correct approach here is when it comes to the analyze of inflation question, demand increase, correct is approach. Then price rise. Analyze inflation, demand increase, price rise, cost transmission, consumer impact, policy response. Analysis means relationships, not a collection. So you must be aware with analyze. This is waste. This is important directive word. Directive number 7, examine. What is the meaning of examine? Examine means inspect carefully. UPSC is asking, is this fully true? That is what UPSC is asking comes to the examine word. Answer structure should be like this: inspect, verify, and explain. Inspect, verify, explain. But students making mistakes like this. Description. They are giving description. But examine requires testing rather than description. Comes to the next directive word, that is compare. What is the meaning of compare here? Look for similarities and differences. Structure common to different to insight. This is the flow. What are the student mistakes here is only differences they are writing. They written only differences. But here compare, when it comes to the compare word, you have to look for similarities and differences both. In the structure of answer is when it comes to the common means similarities, then different, then insight, with conclusion insight. That is the actual approach to write an answer. Comes to the compare word. Contrast. Contrast means what? Differences dominate. Differences dominate. What is the structure of answer? A versus B. A versus B. Contrast means A versus B. Let's take something something A versus something B. That is the differences dominate. That is the contrast. Students mistaking like this, talking about similarities. But here, rather than talking about similarities, you have to differences dominate. You have to write. You have to understand the word. Otherwise, answer will collapse. The direction will collapse. Your marks will decrease like anything. So small word means impact high. So when you are writing the answer, before writing the answer, you have to read question very carefully. Then you have to understand the directive word. Pick up directive word and understand very much carefully. Then only you have to write. Next word is directive 10, number 10, that is evaluate. Comes to the evaluate, what is the meaning? Evaluate meaning is measure performance. UPSC is asking how successful evaluate. So answer structure should be like this: criteria, then assessment, then verdict. This is the answer structure. This is the flow of answer should be. Generally, students are doing mistakes, no judgment. But verdict is important at the end. Then only complete the answer. Otherwise, answer should not be complete. Evaluate must end with a verdict question. Verdict. Let me take one example under evaluate word. Question. Evaluate NGNREGA. Comes to the wrong approach. Features. Few students writing features again and again, word by word. But that is not correct. Evaluate means what? Correct approach. Objectives. You have to write objectives. Let me take MGNREGA, evaluate of MGNREGA. That is the question. When comes to the answer, you have to do is you have to write is what are the objectives first. Then after the completion of objectives, you have to write achievements of MGNREGA. Then limitations, you have to write limitations. Then after these flow, you have to write final judgment, verdict. This is the actual structure of the answer. Evaluation means measurement, not explanation. Comes to the next word, assess means what? Estimate importance. UPSC is asking like what here? Assess means how significant. What is the answer structure? Role, limits, weight. When comes to the assess question, you have to write answer like this. First of all, you have to write a role, then you have to write limits, then you have to follow weight. This is the order, this is the pattern, this is the structure of the answer when it comes to the assess word. Generally, students are doing mistake like this. Extreme conclusions they are giving. They will give extreme conclusions. That is not correct. Next word, comment. Comment meaning what? Take a reasoned position. What should be the structure? Context, argument, and taking your position. Context, argument, position. Student mistakes like emotion. Comment is not opinion. Comment is justified reasoning. Justified reasoning. Next directive number 13, critically examine. What is the meaning of critically examine in general? Inspect and challenge. Structure should be like this: support, critic, and balance. Student oftenly doing mistake, only criticism they will write. They are writing criticism only. Critical does not mean negative. Let me take one example. Critically examine federalism. Wrong structure like this. Federalism is failing. Federalism is excellent. This is the wrong. This is the wrong way of approach that question. Correct structure is when it comes to the critically examine federalism. First, you have to write strengths, federalism strengths, then challenges of federalism, then institutional tension, then balanced judgment. This is the flow of the answer should be. This is the structure of answer should be. Critical means disciplined thinking, not negativity. Critically analyze. Critically analyze word means what? Deep analysis plus judgment. Deep analysis and a judgment. Structure should be like this: analyze, evaluate, conclude. Oftenly students mistaking no evaluation, no evaluation, only analyze. They are doing like this: analyze and conclude. But evaluation is also important. Then only complete the answer structure. Comes to the last word, that is directive 15. To what extent? This is very important. What is the meaning of to what extent? Measure a degree of truth. UPSC is asking how much is true. Comes to the to what extent. Structure should be like this: true, limitation, final position. Often students are mistaking like this: absolute answers. UPSC rarely rewards 100% answers. It rewards calibrated judgment rather than absolute answers. Now we have to notice something: explain, discuss, analyze, examine, evaluate, critically examine. To what extent? As directives become harder, information becomes insufficient. Judgment becomes important. This is why toppers do not necessarily write more, they write more appropriately. If confused, ask: does UPSC want what? Means explain. Dimensions, discuss. Why? Analyze. Is it true? Examine. How would? Evaluate. What is missing? Critically examine. How much true? To what extent? This is the directive decision engine. This is one framework alone can change answer writing. So take any PYQ, take any PYQ. Do not answer in the first instance. Only identify directive. That is your homework. Because from today, reading becomes more important than writing. Most aspirants ask, how do toppers think? How do toppers think? How do toppers think? This is one answer. They do not immediately write. They first decode. They first decode the topic. Then topic, directive, expectation, then structure, then only answer. This is the flow of the toppers. And once you understand this, main starts becoming controllable. But understanding directives is only step one. In the next class, we enter execution phase, that is real PYQs explanation, real mistakes, real answer transformation. Because understanding the command is not enough. You must learn how to execute it. Welcome to mains answer architecture. Comes to the Metis rule here is when comes to the when encounter with the exam when encounter with the answer or question, you have to first of all See the question. After the question, topic, directive, structure, execution. The content is weak, marks may reduce. If directive is wrong, the answer collapses. Remember this, directive first, writing second. So, Metis rule here is question is equal to topic plus directive plus structure plus execution. Thank you.